Okay, now that we know all the different types, let's look at some examples and then come up with a remedy. So we want to determine the type of bias and suggest a remedy to fix it. Because these all have bias, it's just a matter of how can we fix that or make it better here. So the Village of Oak Lawn wishes to conduct a study regarding the income level of households within the village. The village manager selects 10 homes in the southwest corner of the village and sends an interviewer to the homes to determine the household income. There is bias here because we know it. What is that type of bias? Yes, sampling bias. Why? Because, good, this Oak Lawn village, the manager only sends to the southwest corner. That's it. What happened to the rest of the village, right? I mean, why are you only looking at this southwest corner? So you need to, in order to remedy this, you need to select over the entire village, not just one corner. So the remedy, select houses over the entire village, not just one corner. Nice. All right, let's look at this next one. Cold Stone Creamery is considering opening a new store in O'Fallon. Before opening, the company wants to know the percentage of households in O'Fallon that regularly visit an ice cream shop. I'm going to scoot this up. The market researcher obtains a list of households in O'Fallon, randomly selects 150, and mails a questionnaire that asks about ice cream eating habits and flavor preferences. Of the 150 questionnaires mailed, 4 are returned. What do we have here? Yes, non-response bias. Yeah, no one's telling you. So if that is the case, then what's the remedy? Ooh, everybody always sends out more, right? But if that didn't work the first time, is it good to repeat that behavior? No, come up with something else. That's the deal on this one. So if it's a non-response bias, the remedy is try a new approach. If 150 of them and you only got 4 back, well, I'm going to send out a whole bunch more. Because if I only have 4 back the first time, that's an expensive endeavor. Try it again. Get on the phone and call them, right? Go face to face, door to door. Those kinds of things. Try a new approach. That's the remedy there. All right. Cool. Let's try this one. A magazine is conducting a study on the effects of infidelity in a marriage. The editors randomly select 400 women whose husbands were unfaithful and asked, do you believe a marriage can survive when the husband destroys the trust that must exist between husband and wife? There it is. So if I'm looking at this question, what type of bias are we going to get? A response bias. A response bias where the remedy is, look at this question. Do you think you're going to get something legitimate out of that? Do you believe a marriage can survive when the husband destroys the trust that must exist between husband and wife? No. No, much less the fact that you asked 400 women whose husbands were unfaithful, right? So, no, it's a poorly worded question. So that needs to be taken care of. All right. Okay. Cool. Here's our last one. Consider the following 2 questions. Do you believe that the government should or should not be allowed to prohibit individuals from expressing their religious beliefs at their place of employment? Then the second part is, do you believe that the government should or should not be allowed to prohibit teachers from expressing their religious beliefs in public school classrooms? Do you see what's happening there? So, do you think, so here's the question, Do you think the order in which the questions are asked will affect the survey results? And if so, what can the pollster do to alleviate a response bias? Discuss the choice of the word prohibit here. Now look at what's happening. So this first one is good and generic. So you're saying, do you believe the government should or should not be allowed to prohibit individuals from expressing their beliefs? Some people may say, no, it's their beliefs and their place of employment. But then you say, should they prohibit teachers who are individuals in their place of employment? Do you see what just happened there? Gotcha. So if you change the order, because that's part of question ordering, right? Is one going to affect the other if you ask one first and the second one? So that's part of that bias where you're changing the order back and forth, right? Ordering those questions, okay? So do you think that order is going to affect the survey results? Yeah, because a lot of people don't want anybody messing with their kids. So if you mess with someone's kids, that's going to make an impact whether or not they think that you can do that anywhere. And first they'll be like, oh yeah, anything is going to happen there. But, oh, nope, you can't mess with my kids, right? Okay. So that's kind of how all that plays out with there. And what do you think about the word prohibit? If the survey questions. Should or should not be allowed to prohibit individuals from expressing their concerns. So should be allowed individuals to express their religious beliefs, or should you prohibit them? Do you see how this wording makes an impact? Okay. All right. So if we're looking at this, and that's really what I wanted to talk to you about right here is, what do you think about this order? So this is the order of questions. And then you can change that up and maybe look at different words in there in the actual question itself. See if that's going to give you some type of bias. All right. All surveys have them, but we use them because it's a nice way to get the word out there. But you have to be aware of what the bias is and be able to work within that when you're making a survey or if you're checking the results from one. Okay. Good job, guys.